Shalom, Israel. Brother Reggie Jr. here. So today, guys, we're going to read Leviticus chapter 20. Just picking up where I left off from last time, brothers and sisters. And we're going to go ahead and get right into this. Leviticus 20 and verse 1. And it says, "And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Again, thou shalt say to the children of Israel, whosoever he be, of the children of Israel, or of the strangers that sojourn in Israel," meaning Israelites who were not born in the land, but they would come back to the land of their nativity to visit, whether it be for a holy day or just to visit, plain and simple. The Lord expected them to abide by his laws. It says, "Whosoever he be of the children of Israel, or of the strangers that sojourn in Israel, that giveth any of his seed unto Molech, a false god, an idol god." But who's behind that false god? Satan. Says, "He shall surely be put to death." And it ain't just he, but it's she too. Okay, but woman come out of man. That's why the Lord say he go ahead and he just say he. Okay, so he said anybody that sacrificed their seed to Molech shall surely be put to death. Now, why did the Lord jump to the most extreme punishment? Because this was the Lord's way of putting away the evil. Because a brother or a sister that sacrificed their child to Molech, when they seen that other Israelites grabbed a hold of that brother or sister and put him to death for doing that evil, guess what? The other Israelites going to look and say, hey, I don't want no part of that. And that's how it has to be, brothers and sisters, because if you do not do something about the evil will spread. It's like I said in my lesson, evil is like a virus. It infects and it grows. That's what it does. So you have to put a stop to it. So it says, "He shall surely be put to death. The people of the land shall stone him with stones." And stoning, that's kind of a slow, painful death. I mean, you getting rocks thrown at your head, your body. It's brutal. And I believe in certain parts of the Eastern world, they still practice stoning. Verse 3. And when I say that, I mean in those Arab countries, they still practice stoning. It's brutal. Verse 3. It says, "And I will set my face against that man, and I will cut him off from among his people, because he have given his seed unto" what? Molech, "to defile my sanctuary, and to profane my holy name." And how did this gentleman or this female, how did they profane the Lord's name? Because they hold God's name. And one who holds God's name is supposed to be righteous. It's supposed to be holy. The nations look at this guy and say, okay, he's a child of God, so he's supposed to do the works of God. But when they look, they see that he's sacrificing to an idol just like they are, Molech. And so you've profaned the Lord's name. You making the Lord look bad. And that's a large part of the reason why the Lord kicked Israel out of the land. Because the Lord listen, you going to be out of the land before you make a fool out of me. You know how your parents be, you ain't going to make no fool out of me. Well, that's how the Lord was. You will be kicked out of this land long before you profane my name and make a fool out of me in the sight of the nations. And that's just what happened too. And the Lord say defile his sanctuary. He's not just talking about that earthly. Well, he wasn't just talking about that earthly temple at the time. He was also talking about Israel, because they were the sanctuary in which the Lord dwelt in. So the Lord that's not finna happen. Verse 4. "And if the people of the land do any ways hide their eyes from the man when he giveth his seed unto Molech, and kill him not," meaning they see this man or this woman commit this atrocity, okay, but they act like they didn't see nothing. Oh, well, and usually people that do this right here, they turn a blind eye. It's because they doing some foolishness. And that's considered perverting judgment. That's why even here in America, you see all of this unrighteous judgment. Why do you think that's so? It's so because the very judges are doing the same evil as the man or the woman convicted. Verse 5, he says, so if y'all won't do nothing, he says, then I will set my face against that man and against his family and will cut him off. So if y'all don't carry out the punishment, don't worry, because I'm going to make sure I get myself justice by my own right arm. I'm going to get myself justice. So don't be surprised if you see that man walking and a lion roll up on him and eat him alive. Now, to people around, they're going to be screaming and crying, oh, Lord, why did this happen? But you didn't see when he sacrificed his child to Molech. All you see is this lion just roll up on this man and tear him to pieces. They can't even bury him because ain't nothing left of him. Or the man just walking and a sinkhole open up, swallow him whole, everybody crying. Why this had to happen? But the Lord was looking at the evil he had done. And that's why too, in this generation, especially here in America, you seeing all of this evil happen to people. And, you're looking like, oh man, that's terrible. A landslide came and just, killed 50 people. Now, we know it's all time and chance. Sometimes you can be at the wrong place at the wrong time. But a lot of times that be the God's judgment. It be God's judgment. These 50 right here always doing evil in my sight. Whole bunch of evil. So one day when they go across this, when they driving across this little rocky mountain, I'm going to cause a mudslide, an avalanche, and I'm going to take them out. And we be horrified. It be horrific. But the Lord be paying people back. Sister just walk out in the street. Bus come. Boom. Hit her. Dead. Everybody screaming. But what you don't know is she had just got an abortion the other day. And see, that's what's scary about the Lord. Even if man don't carry out the punishment, the Lord is going to carry out the punishment. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and get back into it, brothers and sisters. Leviticus 20 and the end of verse 5. And it says, he going to cut the man and his family off and all that go a whoring after him. And that, which again is the whole reason why they're hiding their face. Because they're going to whoring after him. After who? After who? That man to commit whoredom with what? Molech. From among their people. Again, that's why they're turning a blind eye. Well, man, like I ain't see it. This brother in the church sleeping with all the women, but you don't say nothing. Or this sister sleeping with all the men all the men in the church, but you don't say nothing. Why? Because you're also doing it. And to call it out, you would be considered a hypocrite. And so instead of calling it out, you stay quiet. Verse 6, and the soul that turneth after such as have familiar spirits and after wizards to go a whoring after them, I will even set my face against that soul and will cut him off from among his people. Again, this is a way of the Lord this is the way of the Lord of putting the evil away, because that's what we have to do. You don't put the evil away, your whole nation be infected. Verse 7. And that's what you have in the black community. All this evil going on, or all of this evil had been going on, but the problem was, you didn't have real black men and women speaking up and saying anything. They were letting too many things go by, especially a lot of the preachers. They weren't addressing a lot of this evil black people were doing over the decades. And so what ended up happening, we got a full-blown nightmare in our communities because, brothers and sisters refuse to step up, refuse to say, hey, what you're doing is evil. And if you keep doing that, we going to show up at your house and we going to tear you a new one. You will not go around this neighborhood, ma'am and sir, terrorizing everybody. And you and your children are going around the neighborhood terrorizing everybody. You will not do that. We will show up at your house and we will tear you a new one. But instead of doing that, well, just leave them alone. You know, as long as they ain't really bothering, as long as they ain't really bothering me, I don't really care. Now look, we got a full blown nightmare. Full blown. A known brother going around impregnating all the women. You show up at that joker door. Listen, Negro. You won't open. Listen. You not gonna stick your rusty pipe in no other woman. If you do, we gonna come right upside your head with our pipe. That's the stuff you have to do. You know, that's what's missing in the black community. Fear is missing. Because these brothers and sisters, hey, they believe they can do evil and nothing's going to happen to them. Now, little do they know, as of right now in 2023, on this day, what they don't realize is the Lord is stirring up these heathen. Because remember, the Lord is always going to get himself justice. Because you got a lot of black men and women turn a blind eye to the evil that they brothers and sisters do. So the Lord say, okay, yeah, don't worry about that. Because I'm finna raise these heathen up. And I'm going to smash my people. They not even going to see it coming. It's going to hit them like a 16-wheeler. I mean, Israel going to get ran over, brothers and sisters. You can see it. And even if you can't see it, you can feel it. You can feel the tension in the air. You can feel the Lord getting ready to do something to Israel. They doing so much evil, brothers and sisters. It's not even funny. They doing a lot of evil. The preachers and the pastors, they comfortable. So the Lord got something for them. And I hate to be the one to tell you this, but this is the truth. Ain't nobody else going to tell you this. Everybody else is going to tell you what you want to hear. But see, here at Israel's church, we're not going to tell you what you want to hear. Okay, because we're watchmen, and our job is to warn you of the impending danger that is coming. If not, guess what? We're gonna have blood on our hands. We're gonna be responsible for your demise. But see, the Lord say, if we speak up, if we say something, because we don't care whether you agree or not. I hope y'all understand that we don't care. But our job is to warn you. So that way, when you get ran over by that 16-wheeler, that blood is not on our hands, brothers and sisters. And that's what these teachers don't understand. They believe in their mind that they're right with God. See, I'm up here teaching the Sabbath. I'm talking about baptism, the 2 mountains of brass. And yeah, I'm good. But you're not warning Israel about their sins and about all of this evil that they're doing. So when they get cut off, these teachers think that they are on the way to the kingdom of heaven. They think they are. But they have another thing coming, because they have so much blood on their hands are bloody. A lot of blood on their hands. This is the danger. The Lord is warning us. Do not be no teacher if you are not going to warn the people. Don't do it. Some of y'all doing it for the wrong reason. You're trying to be seen. You want to be named among the quote unquote big shots among Israel. Trying to get some money. But you don't realize, man, in doing those things, you got bloody hands. You got some bloody hands. But we're going to go ahead and get back to it. Verse 7. The Lord says, sanctify yourselves, therefore, meaning separate yourselves, and be ye holy, be set apart. For I am the Lord your God. And why does the Lord keep saying that all over the Bible? I am the Lord your God. Because Israel looks at everybody else as their God, especially the heathen. The heathen is the Lord, Israel's God. That's who their God is. They listen to the heathen. God tell them to do something, it's up for debate, it's up for question. And they want to, just twisting stuff. But when it comes to the heathen tell them to do something, there is no debate, there's no questioning. It's law in Israel's mind. And it's truly, truly a shame, Lord. Truly, truly ashamed. All right, verse 8. And ye shall keep my statutes and do them. I am the Lord which sanctify you. Verse 9. For everyone that curseth his father or his mother shall surely be put to death. Okay? And he's not talking about children. Okay? He's not talking about 15-year-olds, 10-year-olds. No, he talking about men that's 30, 40, 50. Men and women that think they grown and that they could talk to their parents any kind of way, that they could deal with their parents any kind of way. That's who the Lord is talking about. And yeah, he's talking about kids too, but that's mainly who he's talking about. These adults who think because they're grown in their mind, I could deal with my parents however I want to deal with them. They can't control me no more. But the Lord say, hey, you curse your mother and your father, I got something for you. I'm going to give you over to that man with the hoofs. And I'm going to have him deal with your stupid behind. See, Israel is not taught this stuff. That's why all this evil is happening to us. Because, look, though you may be ignorant to the word, the Lord don't care. You still violating his laws. Yeah, but I was ignorant. It doesn't matter. You're violating his laws. The police, look, if I come from Australia, right? And I come into the United States, okay, and I'm not used to the traffic laws. So I'm running stop signs. I'm running red lights. And that police stopped me. Guess what? They going to give me a ticket. Yeah, but I'm from Australia. I didn't know. They're going to say, I don't care. We still have laws here. And you violated the law, whether you were in ignorance or not. So you're going to have to pay this $200, $400 ticket. So guess what? It's up to all of black men and black women to get some knowledge. That's why the Lord say, get knowledge. That's why he say, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Man's knowledge, no, his knowledge. Talking about the word of God. The end of verse 9. It says, he or she have cursed his mother or his father. His blood shall be upon him. Verse 10. And the man that committeth adultery with another man's wife. Okay, you sleep with another man's wife. Even he committeth adultery with his neighbor's wife. The adulterer and the adulteress shall surely be put to death. Now, remember, they tried that. They tried this little stunt with Jesus in the New Testament. Remember that? The Pharisees, they got the woman. And they said, oh, Lord Jesus, Master, we caught this woman. We caught her in the act of adultery. Now, according to the law, it says she should be stoned. She should be put to death. What say ye? But you notice they weren't fulfilling the whole law, because the Lord said, you need to get the man and the woman. So the one she was committing adultery with, the man, was supposed to also be taken and be put to death right alongside her. And we know the Lord ended up saying, he without sin cast the first stone and stuff like that. And, the men, being the hypocrites they left, and the woman remained behind. And then from there, the Lord told the woman her sins was forgiven. He told her, sin no more. But notice that they did not bring the man. Why? Because the same problem we have today among the Israelite men, it was going on back in the day. Okay? It was that whole gender bias thing. Go hard on the women, but when the men do something, you let them off the hook. Israel still do that mess today. They go hard on the women. But when it comes to the men, everything gets overlooked. Well, sometimes it just be like that. But with the woman, they crucify her. Severe punishment. But for the man, he was just feeling a certain way. He wasn't really in his right mind. According to the law, that man and the woman, bring them both. They both were to be stoned. And this was the stuff right here. with these Pharisees. So they were hypocrites. That's what Jesus understood about these people. And by the way, when Jesus was, remember when they was talking to him about the woman being caught in the act of adultery? Remember Jesus with his finger, he was writing something in the sand. That was, I believe that was that same finger that etched in them commandments on that stone. Same finger. So what Jesus could have been writing? The commandments. Just like he did with Moses. Written with the finger of God on the stone. And we witness Jesus doing that in the New Testament, right in the sand. But them Pharisees, boy, I'm telling you, they was something else. And the men, they still do it today. Still doing that foolishness today, okay? But let's go ahead and go back to it, verse 11. And it says, and the man that lieth with his father's wife, okay, have uncovered his father's nakedness. All right, so you got a stepmama. Don't be sleeping with your stepmother. Now, you know not to be sleeping with your mama. But let's just say, you know, your father got divorced to your mama and he married another woman. You are not to sleep with that woman that your father married. Okay? And then, too, in the Bible, you know, a lot of the men, they had concubines that they married. Okay? The son could not go in unto those concubines. Why? Because that was their father's wife. And it says, the man that lieth with his father's wife have uncovered his father's nakedness. Both of them shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them. So notice they both had to be put to death. Not just one of them, like them hypocritical Pharisees. And my whole thing with the Pharisees regarding that situation, how you knew where to go find this woman? We caught her in the very act. How did you know where to find this woman? I guarantee the one she was sleeping with was one of y'all. But that's how the Pharisees were. They were utter hypocrites. Their hypocrisy knew no bounds. Verse 12, and it says, and if a man lie with his daughter-in-law, both of them shall surely be put to death. And that stuff, it go on today. They have wrought what? Confusion. Their blood shall be upon them. So in other words, your son, right, got a wife. And you looking at your son, why, man, she is fine. You wait till your son leave and you coerce your son's wife and you sleep with her. Well, the Lord said both of y'all is to be put to death because he calls it confusion. Now here in Babylon, you know, they're going to high five you. Yeah, you got that thing, man. But God said this is pure wickedness. It's evil. Verse 13. And more importantly, it's confusion. Verse 13. If a man also lie with mankind as he lieth with a woman, both of them have committed abomination. So he said that's an abomination. A man being with another man. A woman being with another woman. Lord say that's an abomination. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them, because they knew what they was doing. They knew it was wickedness. They trying to convince everybody else of their lifestyle, but deep down they knew it was wickedness. They knew it wasn't natural, but they proceeded anyway. Their blood gonna be upon them. Verse 14. And if a man take a wife and a mother, it is wickedness. They shall be burnt with fire, both he and they, that there be no wickedness among you. Again, this is what the Lord is trying to do. He's trying to put the evil away. That's why the punishment is so severe. So that you don't even, that way the thought of doing this evil don't even conceive in your mind, because you fear this punishment. And that's what the children of Israel in this world has long since forgotten. They've forgotten the fear of Almighty God, the terrifying God. Verse 15. If a man lie with a beast or a woman, he shall surely be put to death, and you shall slay the beast. So not only was the man and the woman supposed to be put to death, but that beast was also supposed to be put to death. All right. And if you notice, in Babylon, they got a lot of these animal movies, right, where they have these animals, the animals be talking and stuff. To be like, what that movie is, Zootopia, and the animals are like anthropomorphic, I think that's what they call it, where they're basically like human-like. They're still animals, but they're walking and they're talking. And the reason why they do that is because that's Babylon's way, in a subtle way, of promoting that bestiality, to see the humanness in the beast. No, that beast is a beast. It's dumb. I don't see no beast as no human. Beast is a beast. But see, these are the things that Babylon do. They try to what? Bring that confusion. Have you second guessing nature. All right. Verse 16. And if a woman approach unto any beast to lie down thereto, thou shalt kill the woman and the beast. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them. And the only reason you wouldn't do that is because you're doing it. Woman act like I ain't see it. Well, that's because you doing it too. Verse 17. And if a man shall take his sister, his father's daughter, or his mother's daughter, whether that's your full blood or half blood, and see her nakedness, and she see his nakedness, it is a wicked thing, and they shall be cut off in the sight of their people. He have uncovered his sister's nakedness. He shall bear his iniquity. So that's the evil thing. And the Lord told us, don't approach any that is near of kin to you. Verse 18. It says, and if a man shall lie with a woman having her sickness, and shall uncover her nakedness, he have discovered her fountain, and she have uncovered the fountain of her blood, and both of them shall be cut off from among their people. So none of that period sex. The Lord don't play that stuff. That is wickedness in the eyes of God. But I just couldn't hold myself, man. I had to have a boy that, and I ain't care if she was on her period or not. The Lord say that's evil. Okay, and he would have had you cut off. Verse 19. And thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy mother's sister, nor thy father's sister, for he uncovereth his near kin. They shall bear their iniquity. So ain't none of that having sex with your auntie. Same with the women. Ain't no having sex with your uncle either, because that's your near to kin. It's evil. It's wickedness. 20. And again, in Babylon, you're going to receive a high. Oh, you did. You're going to receive a high five. Oh, you did that thing. Ooh, wee. But God ain't laughing. God ain't giving you no high five. He thinking about how he's going to dismantle you. So don't let Babylon fool you and lie to you. Don't let them fool you and lie to you, man. Got you thinking stuff is hip. Got you thinking it's hot. Got you thinking it's cool. But the Lord got something waiting on you. He gonna sick on you. The man with the hoofs. That man with the hoofs coming. Verse 20. And if a man lie with his uncle's wife, he hath uncovered his uncle's nakedness. They shall bear their sins. They shall die childless, man. So the Lord ain't playing, man. Excuse me. 21. And if a man shall take his brother's wife, it is an unclean thing. He have uncovered his brother's nakedness. They shall be childless. Okay. So you were not supposed to take your brother's wife. Now, there was a thing where if you had a brother, he had a wife and he didn't have a child, he died childless or whatever, you were supposed to take your brother's wife and raise up seed to him. But what the Lord is talking about is just some What he's talking about is these, brothers doing this stuff carnally, right? Your brother is still alive, and you still take your brother's wife to do what you gonna do. The Lord say that's some evil, man. Verse 22. Ye shall therefore keep all my statutes and all my judgments and do them, that the land whither I bring you to dwell therein spew you not out. So he's warning Israel long ahead of time. He's warning them ahead of time. Listen, you better be obedient. You better do what I tell you to do, because I'm telling y'all gonna get up in this land and you're gonna do some folly, and you're gonna be right back where you started, in slavery. Verse 23. And ye shall not walk in the manners or in the customs of the nation which I cast out before you. They have committed all these things, and therefore I abhor them. I hated them. Then eventually, when Israel was in the land, didn't the Lord say that same thing? He eventually said that about Israel. I abhor the children of Israel. Why? Because we was walking in the manner of them Canaanites that was before us. 24. But I have said unto you, ye shall inherit their land, and I will give it unto you to possess it, a land flowing with milk and honey, just like he promised Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He says, I am the Lord your God, which have separated you from other people. So it ain't Israel's church that separated you. It ain't these other churches and these other camps that separated you, your mama, your daddy. No. God separated you as a people, because you got brothers and sisters that get mad. Y'all always coming with that separatist stuff. Why we gotta be separate? Why we always have to be the one? Because God commanded it. That's why. And my God, by any means necessary, you will be separate, whether you do it on your own or whether God has to come in and separate you himself. My God, it's going to happen either way. Verse 25. Ye shall therefore put difference between clean beasts and unclean, and between unclean fowls and clean fowls. And ye shall not make your souls abominable with any beast, or by fowl, or by any manner of living thing that creepeth upon the ground, which I have separated from you as clean, whether that's in sacrifices or in the food you eat. Now here in Babylon, ain't no difference made between what you can eat and what you can eat, unclean and clean. Everything is jumbled up and mashed together. Here in America, and I'm sure every other country, you could do what you want, basically. There's nothing that separates anything. Because guess what? In these other nations, they don't have God's perfect law. They don't live by God's perfect law. That God's perfect law is not the laws of their land. So that's why here in America, per se, you can eat whatever you want to eat. Hey, that rat on a stick, what you mean is unclean, brothers and sisters? That rat on the stick is a delicacy. Is that not what Babylon say? Babylon calls it a delicacy, but God calls it an abomination. Unclean, but Babylon say, what you mean? That pig, that bacon, but that's a delicacy. What you talking about is unclean for? That's why we got to open up this book, brothers and sisters. And we have to read what makes God pleased and what makes him angry at us. Okay? And if you don't know these things, you're going to get your head split open by him. And I have to just say it like that because I'm trying to provoke a sense of urgency. Our people don't have no sense of urgency to want to do the right thing. They think this is a game. They think this is something that they can play with. This is not optional. Now, the heathen, they can do whatever they want to do. But when it comes to the 12 tribes of Israel, listen, you can't do what you want to do. God expects you to abide by his holy covenant. Yeah, but my friend get to do what they want. To my they little heathen friend. My friend get to do what they want to do. I don't, the Lord, like, listen. I'm not your friend's God. That little heathen you calling your friend, I'm not your friend's God. I'm your God. Don't that sound familiar? Didn't your parents used to say that? Yeah, but Anthony, he get to do this, mama. I don't care what Anthony get to do, and I don't care what his mama let him do. I'm your mama. You do what I tell you to do. It ain't no different with God, brothers and sisters. No different. And the irony of this all is a lot of us, when we have children, we expect our children to be 100% obedient to us and everything. Do what I tell you to do. Obey me. But yet we won't obey our Heavenly Father. We won't obey our true parent, but you expect your child to obey you. And a lot of y'all, I'm going to just keep it real with you, just like this. Okay? The reason why a lot of y'all children will not obey you is because you don't obey the Most High. So you are not going to have the luxury of your children obeying you when you don't obey your father. It's not going to happen. Just like you men of Israel, you complain about the women all day long. I watched some of y'all damn tongue about to fall out. And excuse my language, I'm just getting passionate. Y'all talking about women. Oh man, these women, man, they doing this, man. They getting with Brad, man. I can't believe they running wild. You can't control them. That. So you think, just think about this. You think God is going to let you enjoy the privilege of having a loyal woman, a kind woman, when you are not loyal and kind to the Most High? You running buck wild as a man. You're running buck wild as God's wife. But you expect these women to be loyal to you and not run buck wild. No, the Lord going to make sure these women don't obey you because you don't obey him. So he's going to make sure you don't enjoy the privilege of your women obeying you and being loyal to him when you don't do it to the Most High. You rebel against the Most High, he's going to make sure your women rebel against you. And I want to see, I want to see how it make you feel. The men feeling just what the Most High feeling. You see the men darn near crying. Man, these women, man, they just. How you think the Most High feel? Because he trying to get y'all in order. Trying to get you to be obedient and loyal to him. But you refuse to. You loyal and obedient to another man. Your Brad is these heathen. Why you talk about these women? So the Lord is not going to allow you to enjoy the luxury of having obedience and loyalty from your women when you're not loyal and obedient to him. It is what it is, brothers and sisters. Now, let's see. We are on verse 24, and it says, 25. Nope. Well, man, that got pretty far. 26. He says, and ye shall be holy unto me, for I, the Lord, am holy, and have severed you from other people. So the Lord has severed us from other people. If you won't do it, he will. That ye should be mine. 27. A man also or a woman that have a familiar spirit, or that is a wizard, shall surely be put to death. They shall be stoned with stones. So all them palm readers, horoscope and all that, they would have been put to death. It says they shall be stoned with stones. Their blood shall be upon them. And, that's the end of this chapter, brothers and sisters. I hope you got some understanding. And I will see you in the next chapter. Shalom.